Hi, and welcome to day 6 of our Higgins Keto blog. We're sitting here discussing, okay, what are we going to cover today? And obviously the first thing I thought of is screw ups, because we weren't really thinking when we did breakfast this morning. We hadn't went out and bought eggs, so we only had 3 eggs left, and so instead of having 2 apiece, we only had 1.5 apiece. And then sausage, but we didn't do the omelet like we did last week. So here I was thinking we're going to have all these calories and stuff like that, and we end up being 315 calories for breakfast total. So then, even though we did lunch only came out to 355. So we had this a larger dinner with 2 pieces of salmon and the green beans,
but I did not eat all of my salmon.
Right. So I end up with this huge deficit. Now, I'm not exactly going to complain about what I had to do to make up for my deficit, because all I had to do was eat 9 pieces of bacon. And all my numbers came up right around plus or minus just a few around 0. So, whereas she had 3 pieces of bacon and what did you have with it?
Egg whites.
Egg whites.
3 tablespoons of egg whites.
Right. She was a lot closer. Obviously, her macros are lower than mine. Way lower, yes, as she says. They're way lower than mine. And so that was something we really need to start thinking about, what we're going to be eating a day ahead of time, instead of just assuming that things that we put together in other recipes are going to work out the same and when we just do them by themselves. And it doesn't work out that way.
Planning is definitely the key. If anything that I have learned this week, especially being at work, the planning the lunches. Making sure that I pack my lunch ahead of time, so that my husband, who for 2 days now has actually written all of the information for both he and I.
I have, which is, much to my chagrin. I have, I get cranky about it, okay, because, she was doing it all. Now, for some reason, I'm doing it all. Anyway, it's easier for me to plan my lunches just because of the simple fact that I work from home when I'm not traveling on the road. So I've got a full kitchen right here ready at a moment's notice. Her, on the other hand, she doesn't even have a microwave that's really accessible because of all the students. So we're going to have to start planning things a lot better than we did. So tomorrow is actually going to be a really good planning day for the rest of the week.
So, what I have done in the past, I just need to adapt it a little bit so that it's more keto.
Right.
The jar salads, where you actually formulate your salad in a jar, I could make up 5 of those and stick them in the fridge, and that would be good for all week. And then I need to figure out what I'm going to do for protein.
Right. And that's the biggest thing. This biggest struggle we've had with her this past week is the fact that because she isn't working, because of those limitations that she does have, she wasn't getting the fats, proteins, or calories that she should have been getting at lunch, since, obviously on this diet you get 3 primary meals and then a snack at the end, at the end of the day, right before bed, and she wasn't getting enough at lunch, and so these snacks at the end of the night were becoming bigger and bigger.
Right.
And obviously,
almost like it needed to be a whole other meal.
Right. And that's not what it's supposed to be.
No, not at all.
So, like I said, we're making mistakes and we're learning from them.
Right.
But we'll digress off of that. But obviously, you get the point. Planning ahead is huge. We're going to try to start planning a week ahead. We went grocery shopping today at Sam's Club, and I separated out everything into meal bags and things like that. So
we really did a good job.
We did.
In terms of
price.
What we spent.
Well, we got 2 weeks worth of food. And by the way, that includes the kids' food, and the kids are home from school because it's summertime, and we even got lunches for them. And it came out to, well, I did get a few other things at Walmart because they didn't have them at there, but it came out for $200.
Between the two, between
the two,
Sam's
because
and
yeah,
Walmart.
it was about 215 bucks,
Right.
Somewhere right around there. But that's for 2 weeks of food for 4 people.
Which is not bad.
That's not bad.
So we were able to get the cage-free eggs at Sam's.
Right, which were $3.83 a dozen, or no, $3.83 for 18 of them.
Yeah. Of course, he had to get the grass-fed butter at Walmart.
Right, because they did not have it at Sam's Club.
And just a bone of contention for anyone that may be a part of the Walmart family, Sam's, that type of thing. How can you sell your bacon at Walmart, a bigger package of bacon, for under $15, $17 tops, and then sell half and get 2 packages for $19?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a ripoff.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Buy the bacon at Walmart, not at Sam's.
Even though they're owned by the same company. Figure that one out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Lemon juice. You tried that?
Yeah, I did do the lemon juice today, and it did help with my digestion. I found that out on the toilet later.
It was quite noisy.
Right.
Water.
But it worked. I haven't had some of the issues that I was having before. Also, we haven't tried it yet. I did pick up a B vitamin complex today that we're going to start taking tomorrow morning, because we did learn that you do need to replace some of those B vitamins
for the fatigue.
Right.
I am still so tired.
Right. So hopefully that helps us tomorrow on that, and we'll let you know.
Right.
It may take a couple days because we haven't done it since we started, but at least we're going to start tomorrow, and then we'll see how that goes. What else, baby?
My poor husband is still suffering with the cravings.
Mm-hmm.
He has even convinced me that sometime next week we need to find a keto-friendly restaurant so that he's not in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah, right now I'm cooking 3 meals a day, which I usually don't mind doing this. It's just that with such a limited menu, I'm having to get very creative every single time.
He just wants to go into a restaurant and eat.
This
is going to kill him. Smelling the different smells and
I just don't want to. I just want one night off where I just want one night off where I don't have to cook.
I could cook.
I just want one night off.
Right. I was waiting on that.
I love my wife, and quite frankly, when it comes to baking, she's probably one of the best there is. Anything cakes, cookies, cheesecakes, oh my.
The things that we cannot have.
Right. But when it comes to cooking savory meals, she doesn't have the patience to do some of the things that I do. And it's not that she's bad at it, it's just that
I rush it.
She does rush. So I love her to death. Love her to death. I'll eat anything she puts in front of me, but I would prefer to have, better food. Anyway, that's sort of our...
So many things, but I am going to behave.
Oh. Well, hey, what we say before, if you can't have fun, you shouldn't be doing it. And if you can't talk like this when you're married, you shouldn't be married.
Right.
So, all right. Anyway, that covers that. We did find a couple new recipes that I want to talk about. One of them was the keto bread, which is the almond flour, which we finally did get almond flour too. So I'm excited. Yes, I'm excited.
And where we bought it at Sam's, the same dollar amount that we would have bought it on Amazon, but 3 times the amount.
Yeah, it was for 1 pound on Amazon. It was $11 or $12. We at Sam's Club it was $12. Well, $12.98.
Right.
$12.98 for 3 pounds.
Right.
So that worked out. So tomorrow I'm going to make bread. I may have my wife bake it and do the whole thing because she is the baker person. I have full trust in her baking capabilities. So I may have her work with me on that to teach me how to bake, because that's one area where it kind of worked out that way. I'm good at the savory, she's good at the baking.
Right.
It's just, anyway. And then there was another one that we watched. We actually watched a few videos on this, which is the pizza crusts. You've got the cauliflower pizza crust, which is pretty simple and easy. And then there's the, what do they call it? The fathead crust, which was different. But it came out really crispy from what the video showed, and it was like a thin crust.
Because it was the almond flour,
cheese,
fresh Parmesan cheese,
and mozzarella.
Mozzarella went on top when they made the pizza. It wasn't actually in the crust.
Was it?
Mm-mm.
I could have swore it was. Anyway, but research these things, because we have found a few things, and we are going to try them, because we would love to have pizza.
Right.
The
sauce, that's the sauce part is what kind of throws me a little bit.
Right.
Because we can make our own pizza sauce.
Right.
You would just use tomato sauce and then season it. Because really, if you take a look at the amount of carbs, and the calories and the grams of fat in the tomato sauce, and then when you understand that you're really not going to be using that much sauce,
and most pizza sauces that you even that you buy at the store, they add sugar to it.
Right.
And that's so you can make it at home and not add the sugar, and you're not going to have anywhere near the carbs. I mean, I was looking at the spaghetti sauce, and I was amazed to find out that there's 13 grams of carbs, but that's in a quarter cup.
And
you wouldn't use anywhere near that much on a pizza.
Right.
So we're going to try a few of those things, and obviously we're going to be watching the carbs to make sure we don't go above levels. I mean, granted, I will tell you this right now, because of how much we've been watching everything, we've had a hard time reaching the carbs.
Literally. That is very surprising.
We're at 25 carbs a day, and we're having a hard time getting to 25.
And just in case anyone is curious, we are not doing net carbs.
Right.
We are counting total carbs.
Right.
So if that is any indication, we're actually eating less in terms of carbohydrates in comparison to other individuals doing keto, where they're counting net carbs. Right.
We're trying to do. Well, I read an article today. What we're doing is sort of called a keto purist. Okay, where literally you do total carbs and you keep that under 20-25. Okay, and it's almost like a whole meat diet, but it's keto on the fat side, and it's supposed to work even better. There's even some people, I guess, that take this all the way to the where they literally take zero carbs, but I'm not quite sure I would agree with that.
Because then to do zero carbs, you're missing out on the fresh veggies, because there are some veggies that have carbs in them. Right,
and then you're doing, and they even said with that you've got all sorts of vitamin supplementation if you go that route.
Absolutely.
And we're like, I would rather get it from the vegetables instead of trying to supplement it with something else.
Right.
I mean, so it's already bad enough that we have to do the B vitamin complex.
Right.
And
it's a matter of choice. You certainly do not have to take the route that we're taking.
Right.
The main reason as to why I chose to do total carbs versus net carbs is because I know that I was a total and complete carb junkie. It was the only way that I truly was surviving. I was barely eating meat. I struggle eating meat now. It was easier for my body to digest the donuts, the cakes, the cookies, because I don't really eat a lot of food. I don't. Right. I mean, even now, I struggle to eat. My husband is constantly after me. Babe, you need to finish this. You need to eat this.
Right.
Just give me something that is smaller that I can eat. And I mean, quite honestly, if they made a wafer, just simply a wafer, 3 times a day that had everything in it that I needed, I would be good to go, because I really don't eat.
Right. And that's that. But that is a problem too, because she has. I mean, we've had a couple days now, babe. If we're going to be honest, we've had a couple days now where she has not gotten all her fats. She has not gotten all her protein, and she doesn't even got. Obviously, we're struggling to get the carbs, so she hasn't been getting the calories. And now she's actually having some dizziness and things like that, and it's because her body needs more. And, that's the one thing I think a lot of people don't discuss, too. When you go to healthier foods, you have to eat a lot more food to get the same amount of calories.
Right. And speaking of which, I mean, that's part of the reason as to why I have gained the weight that I have. Because I wasn't eating. And just like we had talked about previously, when you don't eat, your body believes that it's starving. And so it's going to hold on to everything.
Right.
And it's held on to everything.
Yeah, and the worst part about that is it'll start to catabolize the muscle, because it's going to try to get its calories from somewhere. Well, it doesn't want to let go of those fat stores because it's starving to death. There was a lady that I sent a comment to earlier. She hadn't sent a comment to us, but she posted something in that she was working out 5 to 7 times a week and only eating 1,500 calories and wasn't losing weight. And I'm like, duh, you're not eating enough.
Well, that actually is something that I experienced. I, was working out 6 days a week. And that was between cardio, that was between lifting weights, and the scale was not budging. I mean, yes, my clothes started to feel a little loose, but then it stalled, and it was because I was not eating.
And then she stopped and bought a what?
A donut.
What did you buy to make up the calories?
So previously what he's talking about. So you have to prep me because I'm not exactly sure. But there are moments where I can read your mind, but this was not one of them. And actually with that, what I had done previously where it was working, I literally would have to stop. And I know this sounds crazy, but here I was eating a clean diet, where I was doing the egg whites in the morning, eating a healthy lunch, salad of protein, and then, something later on for dinner. But there would be times where I literally would have to stop and get a Whopper because I did not have all of the calories. And the funny thing is, even though I couldn't eat all of it, the fact that I had that extra fat, the extra protein, essentially, and to some degree, the additional carbs, I actually began to lose weight.
Right.
Because I was eating more calories than I had allotted for myself.
Now, that's not a suggestion.
No, it is not. It is not.
But it was a wake-up call that getting the consistent meals in and getting the consistent calories and everything that you need in during the day is what's going to cause the weight to drop off.
Right.
Because your body's going to say, okay, hey, I'm getting everything I need. I don't need to hold on to the fat anymore.
Right.
Okay? It lets its defenses down, so to speak. Okay? So that's where we're at. I think we've covered everything for today. We're not going to spend a long time here. But I hope you got something out of this and learned again from our mistakes that we made today. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Night.